is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Are you ready to live your best life, be stronger, and fall in love with yourself? It's possible, and it's inside you, but you need to unlock the power within. Welcome to Fearlessly Authentic with Jodi Bauer. Jodi used to be afraid to take risks. It took some stepping out of her comfort zone to get her there. Along with her guests and their stories, Jodi will help you to live your best life ever. Now, here's your host, Jodi Bauer.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. My name is Jodi Bauer, and welcome to Fearlessly Authentic. As you know, this show was created to educate, empower, and inspire you so you can live a fearlessly authentic life. Because think about it. What else are we here for but to live the most fearlessly authentic life? Because life is way too short to spend it being scared and somebody else. Wow, I like that. I really like that. I just made that up on the fly here, and I like that. But I wanted to first thank everybody who's been listening to the show. I feel the love. I appreciate the sharing. And for those of you who haven't shared the show yet, please share, subscribe, review. I want to hear from you. I love hearing your comments because I'm doing this for you so we can all have a wonderful life. And this has been a tough year. But anyway, we won't get into that right now. Everything is starting to open up and we are all starting to feel kind of normal again. So with that normalcy, I've been trucking away at my business, and back in the fall, I really wanted to make sure that my message of aging fiercely, aging fearlessly. I was turning 60 in December, and maybe I was a little nervous about turning 60, but I didn't realize it at the time. Maybe I realize it now. And so we did a countdown down to 60, and I actually brought on a very smart woman who helps me create content every single month, because it's very hard for those of you who are listening and have your own business. It's sometimes very, very hard to do that. So we create about 30 days of content in about 2.5 days. So it's exhausting, but it's exciting and it's fun. And the whole reason for it was to make sure that the messaging to all of you was on point. The messaging about aging fearlessly and not being afraid to age and move on to a different stage, no matter how old you are. So you can be 25 or you could be 65 or somewhere in between. And there might be some fear involved. How is my body going to change? How is my face going to change? What's going to happen to me? So this point was really important to me. And I know that I need a little bit of help because I am technically handicapped. And I consider myself kind of creative, but Grace really helped me amp it up a lot. So props to you, Grace. So what we did back in April was we created a video on TikTok that would resonate with this same message. Now, we had created a video back in, I think, February, and we called it, "Could a 60-year-old go viral on TikTok?" And at that time, I think we got about 170,000 views on that. And I thought it had gone viral. That's what I thought viral was, because that was a lot of views in a very short period of time for me. And I was like, cool. And I actually talked about it on the show. However, this next video that we posted, and if anybody's not following me on TikTok, please do. It's at Jodi Bauer. It's really, really fun to do. And by the way, I was also told specifically by my adult children, 28 and 32, that I was too old to get on TikTok. No, mom, don't get on TikTok. So let me scroll back a little bit. If I waited to get permission from everyone to do the things I wanted to do, I would be sitting in a rocking chair with a cat on my lap and a dog by my side, my beautiful dog, Ava. And I would just feel really empty. Instead, I didn't listen to anybody and I didn't wait for permission. So when my daughters told me, Mom, please don't get on TikTok. No, you're too old for TikTok. I did not listen to them. And I went ahead and did this. So back in April, well, just a few weeks ago, Grace and I created a video that actually took the shoes that I wore, because I like to keep a lot of my really nice things, took a pair of shoes, and we were going to use the different shoes in my life to illustrate the different stages in my life. We took a popular song. So for those of you listening, always grab a popular song because that helps in your views. Just a little bit of strategy there, but I am not a social media strategist by any means. So this is all about being honestly, fearlessly authentic, because everything that I do on social media is authentically me, because I don't know how to be anybody else but me. So we looked at the shoes that I had and we decided, okay, let's do something that's going to illustrate the different ages and stages in my life, because it's not always about age. It could be a different stage in your life when you're in your 20s or 30s and so on. So I put a pair of shoes on that illustrated what I would have worn when I was first married in my 20s. And I put my leg out there, and just to give you a visual, it showed my leg from maybe the thigh to the end of my foot, so you could see the shoe. And then the next one was showing what I would be wearing on my foot when I had children. So at the time in my late 20s and 30s and so on, I was working out, but I had my children in my late 20s and 30s. So I was wearing a pair of sneakers. And then the next shot was my leg, the same thing from the thigh down, in a pair of Louboutins. So super high heels, the red heels and so on. Again, showing that same view. And then the fourth one was of me turning 60, also with high heels, because who gives a what at this point? I'm 60. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And by the way, that's the great thing. One of the great things about being my age is that you just don't give a shit anymore about what people think of you. It's not that you don't care. It's that you've had so many highs and so many lows that you just don't pay any attention to it anymore. As I said at the beginning, I'm not asking for permission anymore. And I don't want any of you to ask for permission, because you don't need to. Okay. So we put that up. We get a cool song. I couldn't even tell you what the song is, but maybe I'll find it on here, because I want to read you also some comments. So this was the song. Okay. So this is a popular song. And it was just me showing my legs. Well, it went viral, you guys. I received 2.8 million views. Now that's friggin' viral. And I was, quite frankly, blown away. I had no idea. I remember texting Grace and saying, I don't even understand this. Like I thought it would be a great video showing, hey, listen, these are the different ages and stages that I went through. Maybe comment and share ages and stages of your shoes, because women love their shoes. So the comments were very interesting. I got a lot of, wow, you go girl. And in previous times I've gotten, get grandma off of TikTok. Somebody called her mom. She's on TikTok. I didn't really get any of those this time. However, the comments I got this time were more, are those a man's legs? Now, I have been working out for 40 years. I've always had muscular legs. I was a dancer. I was a cheerleader. I rode crew, and I've been working out for 40 years. So of course I'm going to have strong legs, and genetically I've always had strong calves. So, and you could really see the calves in the video, because I'm sort of flexing them. I thought they looked really good, but I got a lot of, is this Caitlyn Jenner? Yeah. right? Like, really? These are strong legs that belong to a woman. And if they looked at any of my other videos on TikTok, they could see that I was clearly a woman, but these were people just being mean. And I could have gotten really, really sad, but I didn't, because I felt really, really good about what I had posted. It had a good message. There was value to take away from this. And it was very pretty also. But I was really, really surprised by there we go again with the comments. So I wanted to read you some of the comments, but I don't know how to turn off the volume. Okay, here I go. So some of the comments, just to read a few of them, because um, this is just sort of a public announcement regarding things that you put on social media. If you are not ready to deal with, let's just call them the haters, and I know a lot of people throw that word around, then you shouldn't throw things out there that you're unsure of. Okay. And people respond to really authentic messages. They feel it, but they also feel the really strong messages. So I am a strong woman. I wasn't always this way, but I am a strong woman now. And a lot of people want to pull you down. And I realized that when I saw the negative comments, how strong I had gotten, because maybe even a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, if I had posted something like that, I probably wouldn't have had the balls to post something like that 5 years ago. But if I had, and somebody asked if those legs belonged to a man, I don't know if that would have bothered me. I think it would have, because um, maybe I wasn't as secure in who I was, but I do know that my legs have gotten me to a lot of wonderful places in this world. They have helped me win world bikini championships. They have helped me make it to the top 60 of Sports Illustrated Swim and be on the cover of the New York Post and Good Morning America and making global news with that. They've helped me raise my daughters. They've helped me train clients, and they helped me help my mom when she had a stroke. And my mom had a stroke when I was 56, and that was the last time I went on stage, was to honor her, and I ended up placing first in the short category. So to hear somebody try to disrespect a body part could have been hurtful, could have tore me down. I could have been really sad about it, but I'm super confident about the way my legs look and how they feel for me. So it really comes down to how confident you are about yourself, what you look like, because if people are jealous or people want to hate on you, they are going to pick on you, and you need to be ready for that. And I wasn't ready for the negative comments, but I'm always ready for anything that comes my way on social media. And I will admit that in the past, when I posted other things that maybe I wasn't so confident about posting, and somebody challenged me or said something that could have made me feel uncomfortable, I let it get to me. I really did. But this was something that I felt confident about. So here are some of the comments. Actually, I received 48 comments when somebody said, "Is that a leg's man? Is that a man's leg?" And from there, that person got 48 comments. A lot of people said it is a man, 100%. Was thinking the same thing. And I'm thinking to myself, what? These don't look like a man's leg. What? You look at my other pictures. And all I want to do is say, no, they do not belong to a man. Like, look at the other pictures. I'm a woman. So after a while, I started laughing about it because it was so absurd to me. It went on and on and on. There were a few people that said, "Oh, come on, give her a break. These are not men's legs." But the cool thing about it is that it clearly reached a lot of people. And I was happy because that was the intention, was to reach a lot of people with my message. And it's about aging fearlessly. And even with these comments, which kind of go in with aging fearlessly, that you shouldn't care about what other people think. We all want to be liked. We all want to feel good about the things that we post on social media, but sometimes it doesn't go that way. So you just have to be prepared that it may not go your way, and don't let it get to you. I'm telling you, you guys, don't let it get to you, because there's a real thing out there about mental illness and social media. And it's not something that somebody made up. It's a real thing, because people do suffer from depression, and do suffer from the negative effects of social media. So here's a public service announcement. I'm just going to tell you guys, if you are on social media and you are feeling like that you're not enough, or that you're feeling bad about yourself, do yourself a favor, turn off the notifications, try muting your notifications on all your apps, set time limits, and be selective about what you do, because all of those things will help you. Because mental illness is a real thing. And the social media, everything on social media is meant to either be entertaining or give you value. And with the post that I put up that went viral, it was meant to bring value, to educate you, to empower you, to inspire you, and to give all of those people that might be scared of aging again at any age, that it's okay, that there's nothing to fear. Just be yourself. And it's not always easy to do that. Easier said than done, right? So I was thinking a lot about the comments that were made from specifically men. And I thought about that for a long, long time. Like, why would the men make the negative comments? What's up with that? And that brought me back to when soon after I got divorced, and I was trying to figure out who the heck I was, because I had a new lease on life, and I was trying to figure out, okay, who's Jodi? And so I was selling eyeglasses, and I remember going to a doctor's office, and there was an optometrist, yes, an optometrist, the ones who make the glasses. I used to know all this stuff, and he wasn't very nice to me, and I couldn't understand, why aren't you being nice to me? I'm here to sell you glasses. You like my glasses. Like, let's just talk here. And I thought to myself, what is that all about? And I remember asking a few people in the office, and they said, he's intimidated by you. I'm like, why? She said, because you're a strong woman. That was the first time. That was a few years after I'd gotten divorced, and nobody had ever called me a strong woman. And I thought, me? I'm a strong woman. So I'd love to know. I'd love for you to email me, send me some messages on Instagram, and let me know, if you are a woman, have you ever dealing with a man that couldn't deal with you because you were strong, that maybe was jealous? I hate to think that anybody is jealous, or felt insecure when you were around. So I thought about that, and I thought, most of the negative comments about my legs were made from men. So were they made? And I was talking to somebody, a friend client of mine this morning, about that. And I was thinking to myself, were the comments made because that man wanted to have my legs? Was it made because he doesn't think a woman should have legs like that? Or does he just think that those aren't attractive legs on a woman and needed to tell me? Regardless of what he thought, it doesn't make a difference, because if I did feel insecure about it, it would break me down, but it didn't. But I'm always curious to figure out, why do people make the comments that they do? So I'd love to hear your comments about them. So message me. I'd love to know. So the reaction to the video was, obviously, pretty strong with 2.8 million views. And the people that viewed it were men and women, but most of the comments came from men, a lot of older men who were inspired by it. That was the whole reason behind it. And the comments, mostly from men, a bunch from women. Curious about the men comments, loved the positive comments. And here's the thing about the negative comments again, that the best way to deal with the negative comments is to just ignore them. Although I have to be honest with you, I did respond to a few of them and said, look at the other videos. I am not a man, because it just made me laugh. And then for the few women that hated on me for the legs, I don't understand that. And quite honestly, I'm not giving it much thought because it really doesn't make a difference. So, one of the things that I've heard that's a very famous quote is haters are just confused admirers. I don't really know about that, but I do hope that the women that follow me and the women that comment on me are the same, where we try to lift each other up and empower one another, because we're sisters. We really, really need to do that. So going into most of my content, this was really interesting to see this go viral. And you can never figure out what's going to go viral or not. And I found it super interesting that it did go viral, and I'm grateful for it, because now I get to talk about it and share it with you. And whether it means you go out and buy a pair of heels now that you're divorced or you're married or whatever it is, maybe that will inspire you to own it, because that's what this is all about. That's what being fearlessly authentic is all about. It's about owning who you are. And if you own it, nobody can take it away from you. Absolutely nobody. But if you don't own it and you don't feel it in your gut, nobody is going to believe that you're really owning it. And I'll give you an example. A few weeks ago, back in at the beginning of April, so about a month ago, I did this horse therapy. I know that sounds really weird, horse therapy. And it was the horse actually picks you. You're blindfolded. A horse picks you based on what they feel that you need. And you don't know what horse is. It's a little weird, and you feel very, very vulnerable. And I actually started crying because that's what I do when I feel vulnerable. And so a horse picked me, and you don't know what's going on around you. And eventually you get to take off your blindfold and you bond a little bit with the horse. And the therapist has you do a few things to get an idea of what your personality is, what the horse's personality is, and it's really to figure out, are you a leader? Are you not a follower? But it's all about team playing. And one of the things that I had to do was, the therapist said to me, Jodi, bring the horse over there. So I said, where? She said, over there. Like, we were in a closed-in area. So brought the horse. I'm like, come on. And I was sort of talking to the horse like it was my dog, because those are the commands I use sometimes. But you're not supposed to use come on, because they don't listen when you say come on. So I said, come. And I turned my back and I started walking to where I wanted to go. And the horse didn't follow me. And I turned around and he's just looking at me like, yeah, really? Like, you want me to follow you? So the therapist said to me, he's not following you. Do you know why? And I said, no. She said, where are you going? I said, I don't really know, because I kind of felt like a jerk. I was like, why am I making this horse follow me? You feel a little awkward at the beginning. So she said, where are you going, Jodi? He's not going to follow you if you don't know where you're going. So I said, okay, there's a tree. I'm going to go over to where that tree is. She said, okay, tell your horse that's where you're going. I think my horse's name was Dusty. Sorry if I don't remember the horse's name. So I looked at the horse and I said, come. My dog's probably going to come from the other room. I said, come. And I looked at the horse, this beautiful animal, and I said, come. And instead of turning my back on him, I stayed focused on his eyes. And you know what? He followed me. And I thought, oh my God, like that's all I need to do. That's all you need to do is be confident in what you're doing and where you're going. Own who you are, own where you're going, own that path that you want to be on, the path that you want to travel on. Just own it. And whoever you want to bring along will come along. It's like thinking about who's that person in your life that you know that if you know the world was about to end, God forbid, and who would you go to? Would you go to that person who's like, I don't really know where to go? Or would you go to the person who says, Jodi, over here, this is the path out of here? You would follow that person who was confident and said, I know the way to get out of here. So that was really, really interesting to me. And again, I thought about that when the video went viral. I thought it was because I was very strong. The messaging was very strong. My legs were strong. Everything about it was a very strong message. And maybe that was the reason it resonated, was the strength in the message. And then there was another part of the training with the horse where we had to get the horse to run. But first we tested out whether or not they gave us whips. We did not whip the horse, by the way. And to see how much of that strength, not just your energetic strength in your own body, but using the whip would make the horse gallop. So from the ground up, it was from a 1 to a 10. So I started whipping the ground a little bit, just very slightly, very, very slightly. And I raised it just a little bit and the horse started to gallop. The therapist said to me, you have very, very strong energy. You don't even need to use the whip. So again, with everything that you do in life, there are different revelations about how you're growing. And again, as we educate ourselves more and more about who we are, our surroundings, we're feeling empowered and we evolve. So with the education, we feel empowered by this information that we have. So I felt really empowered after getting this information and knowing the energy that I gave off. And that brought me back to when I thought about when I sold eyeglasses and this man who was like 7 feet tall, and here I am, all of not even 5'1", that he was intimidated by me because of being a strong woman. And back then I didn't think I was a strong woman, but then working with this horse and hearing that again, I thought, wow, okay, this is really, really interesting. And I'm getting stronger and stronger. And that was such a good feeling. So we're going to take a break. I'll be right back with Fearlessly Authentic. Catch you in a few minutes.
All right, we're clear.
Okay.
You just went full on runaway.
I know, right? How was that?
Good. I was like, look at her go. I knew you would.
Oh, I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not stopping.
No worries. Yeah, we'll just do one break. This will be it.
Okay. I didn't know I could talk that much.
Amazing once you have a mic in front of you.
You know what? It's funny. An old friend of mine is in broadcasting, and he might be listening to the show today. And he said, if you want to send me your notes, I'll take a look at them. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, it's fine. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm really, really sure. And I said, you know me, I get a little shy. And he's like, you? And I was like, it's a long time to talk for an hour. He's like, I don't think you'll have a problem with that, Jodi. So,
once you get started, it's just, it kind of comes to you.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's the getting started. And then you're like, oh my God, am I going to hit a lull? And then you're like, okay, so right now I have a lot of material to cover. So this is good. Wasn't that an interesting story about the horse?
I think so. Yeah.
I know. That was so cool. That was really, really a cool thing. I actually had to do it with my husband. I didn't add that in because.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm more of a leader. He's more of a team player. And he was very upset that I came on so strong. Not upset with me, but I'm just much stronger than he is,
Mhm.
like energetically.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm like, look, we can't all be leaders. So are you standing right now? Now I can picture the room.
Yes, I am.
Do you always stand, or or do you ever sit?
Sometimes I'll sit. Once we get going again, sometimes I'll have a seat. My legs will get tired. I'll stand
Mhm.
back up again, stretch. But the mics are like up at eye level, so I stand up to talk into it. Otherwise, I'm like straining my neck like a giraffe.
Right. I know.
All right.
All right.
Ready?
We're back.
Yep, ready to come back?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
You are listening to Fearlessly Authentic with Jodi Harrison Bauer. We'd love to hear from you with any questions or comments you may have. Send an email to info@jodiharrisonbauer.com. That's info@jodiharrisonbauer.com. Now, back to Fearlessly Authentic.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Fearlessly Authentic. I was telling you about my horse therapy, which was so interesting, between understanding the vibration, the energy that you give off. It could help you so much in your business and your relationships. And that's really the reason I wanted to share that story with you, and also share the fact that, again, owning who you are and understanding who you are. If you are a leader and you give off that energy, then that works with what you're trying to do. If you are trying to be a leader, but you're actually a follower, or maybe a team player, that being a team player doesn't mean that you're not a leader, but there has to be followers, right? We can't all be leaders. Can you imagine what the world would be like if we were all leaders? It would be a little crazy. So it was very interesting to me to reinforce the fact that I am a strong person, that I am a leader, and that this helps me in my business. It helps me with my relationships with other people. It helps me in growing my business, whether it's being on the radio or training clients in my fitness studio, or any other endeavors that I am pursuing. I get to know who I am, and that's really was really very interesting to me, and I really love that. So on top of the viral video, the other videos that I post on Instagram and on TikTok reflect again how we can age fearlessly, how we should not be afraid to age, whether you're in your 20s or your 60s plus. So the things that I post about have everything to do with aging or the different stages in your life. For example, exercise. I've been working out for 40 years. I've been in the fitness industry for over 30 years. So working out is absolutely a way for you to slow down the aging process. Because if we feel good and we feel strong in our body, we're going to have more energy to do more things. If we have a loving and intimate and sexual relationship with our significant other, we are going to feel young at heart. Actually, there was a study that said that if you have regular sexual intimacy, intercourse, sexual relations, that it ages you back 5 years. So this is a good reason to have sex any way you want to have it. I'm not here to tell you what kind of sex to have, but sex is going to make you feel young. It releases the same endorphins that working out does. And it is those feel good hormones, and the hormones control our entire body. And that's one of the things that makes us feel younger or older. So we've got exercise is going to make us feel younger. We have sex is going to make us feel younger. Do you ever see those really old people? Here I am at 60. People probably think I'm really old. But those really old people, you see them on TV sometimes, and they're having, they're kissing. Even I get a little grossed out about that. I really don't want to see that. I'm actually watching a show. I don't know if any of you have watched it, called Jane the Virgin. For those of you who know me, know that I've been watching it. And the grandmother is probably my age, and she falls in love and gets remarried. For those of you who are watching it and haven't gotten to that part, I'm sorry. And now she and her husband, they kiss all the time. And I'm like, oh, what's the purpose? Do they have to show it? But actually, it's really, really nice because it does show. I'm kind of half kidding that it shows that at any age and at any stage in your life, you can have love, you can have sex, you can have passion, that it's never, ever, ever too late to have the things that you want, and you do not need to ask for permission. So that is the idea behind the videos and the content that Grace and I create every single month. So exercise, staying hydrated, having sex, um, clothes that you wear. So nobody's out there telling you what kind of clothes you should be wearing. Maybe it's a thought in your mind. Maybe you think that at a certain age, you shouldn't be wearing certain clothes. I'm here to tell you no. No, no, no. Wear what feels good to you. Remember, it's about owning who you are. If you don't own who you are, somebody else is going to try to own who you are. And then you're going to get lost like I did in my marriage. And you're going to get lost. You're going to fall down that rabbit hole. You're going to get divorced. You're going to wake up one day and say, who the hell am I? That's what happened to me in my marriage. I woke up one day and I said, I don't know who I am. I just fell down that rabbit hole. I've been raising my children, and the only thing that I identify with that gives me my identification, that shows me who I am, is that I'm a mom and a wife. I'm like, come on, I'm a lot more than that. And my kids need to see this. Another reason why I got divorced. And again, that's the reason why I went into my 40s trying everything and started competing and finding out who I was. So you do not need permission from anyone to wear the clothes that you want if it feels good for you. Your hair, wear your hair anyway. Do you know how many I have so many people in my life who tell me to cut my hair. I love my long hair. I've always had short hair my entire life. I love my long hair, and I will not cut it short. I did cut it shorter for my daughter's wedding, and I absolutely disliked it very, very much and could not wait for it to start growing again. So do not ask for permission. Do not ask people what they think, unless maybe it's one person. Hey, what do you think of this hairstyle? What do you think of this hair color? Whatever it is. But if you feel good wearing it or doing it, and it's not hurting anybody, and it's not hurting you, then go for it. I brought on that thought process, that attitude years and years ago. 20 years ago, I just said to myself, I'm not going to wait for somebody to tell me it's okay. But I did find myself at times where I felt insecure, uncertain, uncomfortable with a decision I had to make. And I would ask so many people their opinion. And I thought to myself, why am I doing this? I already know what the answer is. Own it, Jodi. Just own who you are, and it will all come to you. And you know what? The other thing is, I promised myself years ago, 20 years ago, that I would always trust my gut. And the times that I didn't, I regretted it. And I do not have many regrets in my life, but I regretted it because I said, why didn't I just trust my gut? Because I have very good gut instincts. So the videos, going back to the videos that I post, because I really want to share them with you, is for ways to feel younger, ways to gain confidence at every single age and stage is so important. And I've been doing this for over 30 years. When I train women, my personal training clients specifically, what I'm doing is helping them gain confidence in themselves. They come to me with a problem. They don't feel good in their body. They don't feel strong in their body. And as soon as you start feeling strong in your body, you start feeling more confident in your body because you're actually taking control of something that was troubling you, and made yourself accountable. You might have had to hire a coach like me, but I made you accountable for the goals that you wanted to reach because you didn't feel like your old self. You didn't feel good in yourself. In your body. You didn't feel sexy. And every woman wants to feel sexy. And I throw that sexy stuff out there all the time. I'm throwing it out for years, over 20 years. And women around me would go, "Ooh, don't talk like that. You're talking about sex." Yeah, sex is a really good thing. And every single woman wants to feel sexy in their body. So all of these things that I'm talking about, aging fearlessly, slowing down the aging process, these are all things that are going to make us feel strong, which equals feeling sexy and confident. Because if you're confident in your body, you are going to give out a sexy vibe. There's nothing sexier than confidence on anybody, man or woman or any gender that you are. Being confident is really, really sexy. And lifting other people up is really sexy also. I love to see other people helping other people because we all need a little help every once in a while. Another way that you can feel younger, feel that maybe you're slowing down the aging process, maybe aging fearlessly, is if you're a certain age, if you're postmenopausal, you might think about hormone replacement. And I just recently started my journey using bioidentical hormones. And I haven't seen any really real results yet. But hopefully soon I will see some results. And I didn't get on the hormones to, um, I got on the hormones to give me a little bit more energy. I already feel like I have a lot of energy, but I know I could have a lot more because being postmenopausal, you lose basically all the hormones, the estrogen, the progesterone, the testosterone, the thyroid, all of those wonderful things that all of you have in your 20s and 30s and up to 45 or maybe 50 before you go through menopause you have. And you guys, you're so lucky you have all those hormones. So we won't even talk about that right now. But all of those things help to make you feel younger for sure with the hormones and staying hydrated, getting enough sleep. All of these things help you feel younger. So those are what my videos are about. So I talk about all of these things because I want to empower you with the education, empower you with the information that it's out there. You can exercise and feel younger. You can eat better foods, make better food choices, get more leafy greens, eat less sugar, drink less alcohol, get more sleep. All of those things will make you feel stronger in your body, which will make you feel more confident, which will help slow down the aging process. And don't we all want that? We all want to be forever young. And we want to own the fact that this is what we're trying to do. And that's the other thing. It's okay to say, I don't want to really age really fast. I want to slow down the aging process. I want to feel forever young. I want to feel forever energetic. It's okay. It goes again to owning who you are. And if I didn't own who I was, I wouldn't have been able to post that video that went viral. So the clothes, the hair, the makeup, the exercise, the hydration, the sleep, and not stressing about these things, not fearing. So if I can pull away some of the fear that you might have in aging, then you're going to have less stress in your life. Because I know that when I'm scared of doing something, it stresses me out. That's why I named the show Fearlessly Authentic, because by the time I die, I am going to be the most fearlessly authentic person because I struggle with it sometimes, because I do get scared. And then I do try to sometimes think, okay, well, maybe I should be like this, or let me look at this video, or let me look at this picture. We all do that. We all go through this whole comparison thing, which is going to stress you out also, which could cause depression, all of these other things that it could cause. But I want you to look at my videos. I want you to look at my content. I want you to understand what's out there to help you so you can slow down the aging process, so you can age fiercely and fearlessly by owning who you are, by being authentic. And it's simple, but sometimes it's not that hard. So in thinking about all of these things, you know, aging fearlessly, slowing down the aging process, being as young as heart at your heart as you possibly can, it at the end of the day, it comes down to not asking for permission to own your shit. Okay? You don't have to ask for permission to own who you are. Who are you? Who do you want to be? How are you going to get there? Those aren't always really easy questions to answer because sometimes we don't know who we are. We don't know where we're going. We get into a fork in the road and we don't know where we're going. And we turn around to see if anybody's following us, if we've got a buddy there. And there's nobody there because they're like, well, hey, if you don't know where you're going, I don't know where I'm going, much like the horse did to me until I was like, hey, Dusty, that was the horse's name. We're going over here. And he followed me. It's the same thing when I'm with my dog. It's the same thing. Come, she'll come. Now, if I'm wishy-washy about it, she won't come. And if I'm wishy-washy about owning who I am, I'm not going to have the confidence to post the videos that I did that got lots of hateful comments. I don't even know how to call them. I mean, thank you for referring to me as Caitlyn Jenner, I guess. You know, she's is a world athlete. So, you know, but obviously I'm not Caitlyn Jenner. So it's just really comes down to not asking for permission to be who you are, owning what it is that you want to do, and following the direction that you know you want to go. Sometimes we don't know the direction, and that's okay. And I think that happens to a lot of us. It happens to me every couple of years that I sort of regroup and say, okay, where do I want to go? How do I want to live my life? What kind of message do I want to throw out there into the universe? What do I need the universe to help me, to help direct me? Because sometimes I don't know where I want to go. But turning 60 really helped me focus and hone in on the message of aging fearlessly. Because as I said at the beginning, I think maybe if I had to be really honest, and this is the first time I'm saying it out loud, that maybe there was a little bit of fear in turning 60. I know that before I turned 50, I was scared to death. I didn't know what was going to happen to me mentally and physically. And probably more physically because I didn't know what it was going to be like to go through menopause, and that scared the hell out of me, not knowing what to expect with hot flashes and all the physical parts, because I would always hear all these horror stories from women about who are going through menopause. So that really scared me. So when 60 came, I thought, I got this. I got this. And again, we did a countdown to 60. So it was actually really, really fun and probably a little bit of a distraction for me. But the day after I turned 60, I had this huge aha moment of like, oh, I got this. I so got this. And I'm not going to put up with this crap or that crap. I'm going to do this and I'm not going to wait around. And again, I had to reiterate to myself, Jodi, you don't have to ask for permission. If you want to post a sexy selfie of you, then you're going to post a sexy selfie. And actually, I did that. I posted a sexy selfie of myself just because I wanted to. I know Grace wasn't always very happy about that. But again, it comes down to owning who you are and following your gut instincts, because if you do that, you're never ever going to miss a beat. And if you decide to make the changes in your life and own the actions that you take to make those changes in your life, if you didn't know where you were going. So you're at a crossroads and you say to yourself, I'm not really sure which direction I want to go in, but I do know that I want to feel stronger in my body. I do know that I want to feel more confident about myself. I do know that I want to embrace the age that I am. I do know that I want to stop saying that I'm sorry for whatever some you might be doing. I do know that I want to dress the way I want to dress. I want to go dancing. I want to wear high heels. And it was funny because some of the comments from the video were of women saying, "Oh, I need to get those high heels out of my closet." And so if I inspired one person to go into her closet or his closet, and grab those heels and say, "You know what? I need to wear these because these make me feel good about myself," then that's what you need to do. So if you're at a crossroads, but you know that you see yourself in that place, you see yourself as a strong, confident person, wearing clothes that fit you well, working out, running a business, raising your children, starting a business, leaving a job, doing all the things, writing a book, doing all the things that maybe you feared, write them down and figure out how you're going to get there. That's what I've always done. And it's kind of scary writing those things down because it becomes real as soon as you write them down. But as soon as you do that, you can start seeing yourself writing that book. You could see yourself leaving your job and starting a company. You can see yourself finding the person of your dreams and envisioning the life that you want to live with that person, maybe down to where you're going to live, what he or she is going to look like, what kind of, if you want children, what kind of children you're going to have, what kind of jobs you're going to have, where you're going to go on vacation. Everybody has different priorities. So it's not necessarily always about getting that strong body. But I do know from being in the fitness industry for as long as I've been that if you do feel strong in your body, it is easier sometimes to go after that job, put yourself out there to date, leave a relationship. If you feel insecure in your body, you may not want to do that if that's where you're feeling your insecurities. And we all have different insecurities. And, they're not always easy to overcome. But if we can, again, own our insecurities, own the things that we love about ourselves, then we can get to the place that we want to be quicker. It's not a sprint. It's, I believe, in slow and steady wins the race. And we all want to have those wins every single day. And I try to remind myself to recall a win that I have on a daily basis because I do sometimes, definitely, not sometimes, but I definitely have my insecurities. And I know what I'm really good at, and I know what I'm not so really good at. And I own that. Again, it's about owning it. But stop for a minute, figure out where you want to go. You're at a crossroads or you're on your journey right now. Does it end? How does it end? Does it start up? Are you going up a big hill? Are you going down? Are you hanging out there? Have you hit a plateau? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to see yourself? How do you see yourself living your life? Where do you see yourself going? And once you see that and you own it, then you can make a plan to get there. But you do not need to ask permission to go on TikTok, to go on Instagram, to wear a short skirt, to wear high heels, to grow your hair long, to work out, to dance on tables, to drink tequila, and to have fun in this life because we only have this one life to live. And if we don't own it, we're going to lose it. And life goes by way too fast. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope to talk to you next week on Fearlessly Authentic. Have a great weekend, everybody.